Chapter 15. A unique life story of highly spiritualized lad. Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh ji, Kamal Pur. He was a rare example of intense spiritual state at a very young age. It was a matter of destiny that Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh was so deeply engrossed in spirituality as a student of 10th grade in Malwa Khalsa School, Ludhiana. The pages of divine love were unbearable from him. He had strong belief that the assembly of those well-versed in matters of divine gathered together somewhere near Ludhiana. It so happened that Akhand Path Samagam had just commenced at village Narangwal in the house of Bhai Kishan Singh, Junke. The 5 persons selected for recitation of Path were accomplished Gursikhs, abiding by the life of meditational devotion, and had acquired the status of divine recognition. Meanwhile, Gyani Narang Singh of the Khalsa High School arrived with a batch of school students who were keen to get baptized. This included Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh, Kamal Pur. Those who desired to be baptized took full bath and came to listen to the Akhand Path. The tradition was that the hopefuls for baptism were to listen to the entire recitation of Akhand Path for the 48 hours. All such students joined in the prayer for starting the recitation. Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh also stood in the prayer with great feelings of joy and anticipation. After the prayer, all the listeners took up their seats. Of all these, only Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh listened to the entire recitation from the beginning to the end. He went without any food or drink except the holy Kara Prasad as the divine gift. He never had any urge to leave and was devoted to listening Gurbani in thought, word, and deed, fully engrossed. As he went on listening, the splendor of his face shined more and more gracefully. It appeared that he had inherited the devotional love from his God-oriented father from early childhood. This was his first such experience. It was as if he was getting drunk with listening to Gurbani's piercing words. His yearning to love kept mounting. The readers of the Path also directed sallies of Gurbani to further accentuate this love of devotion, and Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh's yearning kept mounting. This was the first example, noticed on close. Every pore of God-oriented recites the divine name. Either the efficacious recitation of Path or some previous experience of Gurmat Nam was leading to the state of uncontrollable ecstasy. The day and night continuous pouring of this elixir through listening to Gurbani was causing intoxication, exhilaration. His face glowed in splendor, and mixed with his youthful and natural handsomeness, such a glory was unmatchable for a beholder. The word came from the 5 chosen ones for the baptizing ceremony after full bath once again. These 5 were the same who had been reciting the Path. Every candidate for baptism started presenting himself before the chosen 5. Only 4 of the hopefuls were selected to receive baptism. Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh was found not to be lacking in any respect and was selected after full scrutiny. The next to be considered was Bhai Lal Singh, Secretary, Sikh Youth Society, Ludhiana. He could not listen to the entire recitation, yet he did listen most of it. There was not much problem in his selection. It pleased him immensely to have been selected. The third was Bhai Nar Singh, now Gyani Nar Singh. Though his spiritual concentration was found wanting, yet he had an inspirational role for many others, and this weighed with the 5 chosen ones. The 4th student was Bhai Kem Singh from village Rakba. He is no more. As Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh received his first sip of Amrit, he lost all his bodily awareness, and with the first sprinkling of Amrit in his eyes rolled up. His inner spiritual sense was awakened, though he lost all physical awareness. He was enjoying this inner bliss. His face shined with glory, and his entire being was filled with Nam. The touch of divine elixir from within at the unveiled started functioning with full force. He joined his hands subconsciously, as though he was praying for the strength to bear this great unwearable spiritual experience. Thus he was able to enjoy his inner supreme bliss. Even the chosen 5 were amazed. This was the first such case where quick spiritual rang Sarjan. Change was observed during the baptizing ceremony itself. What to talk of Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh's inner experience, even we the beholders felt the touch of divine awareness, of the spiritual world. All the bodily pain, hunger, and sorrows were forgotten. There was no urge to eat or drink, and this inner bliss was all that one wished to perpetuate. We lost sense of time, and at the end of baptizing ceremony, I left for the ravine accompanied by 2 other chosen ones. We found that the 2 newly baptized, Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh and Bhai Lal Singh, were following us. It was as if in a moment we all reached our destination, the lovely spot in the middle of 2 villages, Narangwal and Gujarwal. By the side of the lake with clear water, Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh sat in meditation. The rest of us watched him, from our distinct sitting or lying position, in our state of rapture. This way our minds also took to deep meditation. Bhai Lal Singh was rolling in divine restlessness. We had come off to this forlorn place without the food being served. We felt we had been away for a few hours, and that people after waiting were now about to heat towards us carrying our food. All of us had the common urge to leave that place and to somehow bring peace where we might not be found. God knows what propelled us and where. We found ourselves within the bounds of village Phaliwal at a distance of about 5 kilometers, not knowing how and when we crossed Gujarwal. Here we decided to head for the cottage of Bhai Sarwan Singh outside Phaliwal. This was another lonely place. Outside the cottage and near the well sat Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh and started the kirtan with piercing love cry. It reached far off in that wilderness as we all joined in the singing. Bhai Sarwan Singh brought out the musical instruments. We were lost in a long kirtan session of bewitching music. When we opened our eyes, we found many people of the village had joined us, including our dear Baba Ram Singh Ji and his wife Mata Premkar with moist eyes. Telepathically, it was decided to start another Akhand path in the cottage. Everything was ready. In the same mood of intoxicated singing, we assembled in the cottage. Again, kirtan started in the presence of Sri Guru Granth Sahib, with yet more newly arrived kirtaniyas. The kirtan lasted till 1 a.m. All this was happening under the loving inspiration of Baba Ram Singh. We started the morning prayers, Nitman Path, and then Asadavar Kirtan at 4 a.m. This was the first kirtan where invisible noble souls joined in. It became so attractive and intoxicating that whosoever came became lost in divine love and had no will to leave. Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh was an immensely amazing singer. At the end of Shri As Divyat Kirtan, Shri Akhand Path began at 11:30 a.m. Once again, the Akhand Path the reciters, were incarnations of divine love, one better than the other. For hours at a stretch, the reciters would go on with a clear, loud voice, piercing the hearts of the listeners who were just spellbound. Every line of path was making immense impact on the souls. The first pathi also sat near the next reciting one and got lost in meditation. Suddenly, it occurred to me that now Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh should start reciting. Neither I knew nor had he actually been engaged in such path earlier. Instantly making a Akhand Pathi of a 16-year-old youth was the miracle of the Satguru. This heart-to-heart message prompted Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh, and he went and stood behind the 2 pathis. He picked up the line of the fast flow behind the 2 pathis of path recitation and recited in such a loud voice that the 2 pathis lovingly gave way. Then the love-imbued Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh, filled emotionally with the clear and loud tone, started the path. All were surprised beyond measure and got submerged in the pouring Gurbani Karsh. They all started swaying with the divine intoxication. The glory of Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh's face was indescribable. It became an amazing sight. The men and women sitting far away got up and with folded hands started enjoying the bliss of Gurbani. This recitation continued for 5 hours. Everybody remained transfixed in whatever position they were. As the word spread in adjoining villages, people started pouring, and the lonely spot became a place of rejoicing for a multitude of people. The entire Akhand Path was conducted in the same vein. After the distribution of Kara Prasad, the five of us soon left for yet another unknown destination. Once again, the prepared food and those serving it waited for us in vain. We were walking as though spellbound. This was Baisa, April, 1910, and fairly hot. We were all barefooted. We had tied blankets on our heads as turban, kirpanes slung across our bodies, the circular chakra around our necks, covered with a sheet and wearing kacheras. Nobody knew where we were headed. Wherever Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh stopped, singing soulful hymn. Rang Sajai. Gurbani all would stop. Seeing the high spiritual state of Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh, all were happy. Yet Bhai Lal Singh was woebegone and rolled over the hot sands. He was sorry that he could not attain the same intense state as Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh on Bopsam. We used to drag the prostrating Bhai Lal Singh to continue our journey that had no charted course or destination. We found ourselves at the Kilai Raipur railway station. The station master was a keen Sikh devotee. He put chairs for us at the platform. Trains going in opposite directions were going to cross at this station. When it was nearing time, he came to ask me about the ticket and our new destination. We expressed our ignorance. He was perplexed and wanted to know what he was supposed to do. We still could not decide, yet we knew we were heading some destined place. Finally, it was decided that the station master should stand before the ticket Amira with closed eyes and recite Mool mantra, and then wherever his hand would go, he should pull 5 tickets for us. We had explained that we had no money to buy the tickets. He went away saying that all money belongs to the Guru. He returned with tickets for Ambala Cant. Bhai Sawan Singh immediately concluded that this draw is made by the souls of Babua Mal Singh and Bhai Pyara Singh. It so happened that one of us, Bhai Waryam Singh, had some money to pay for the tickets. The train for Ludhiana arrived at the platform. Just before departure, 2 Sikhs from Kila Raipur came and offered us the syrup drink in iron bowls. They made an earnest request to accept the drink. We had been without food or drink for a long time. We gratefully accepted. The drink further rejuvenated our spirits, and our mentalized perception of Nam became louder. In this imbued state, Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh started singing the hymn soulfully. Mane nihe par biri di jyoti, te tiri piya varam rishi. My mind is pierced with the arrow of divine love. Rag Gand, 86. As he sang, he became more and more intoxicated, and the flow of his tears was uncontrollable. The yearning of love moved all the restlessness of a Muslim holy. When the train reached the next station, a Muslim holy cried out, "O Lord, this young lad has slaughtered me. God knows what life-giving substance he has obtained. I can be saved only if I too get this precious commodity, or else this life is worthless." Some ignorant people asked us whether Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh was crying due to loss of some dear one. The Muslim fakir would say, "Oh, poor fools, look at the splendor of his face. These are the symptoms of great renunciers of the world." This situation continued till Ludhiana. Many passengers forgot to get down at the intermediate stations. We had to change the train at Ludhiana. Many passengers started pleading with us to let them accompany us. Unmindful of all such pleas, we boarded the Ambala train in our own intoxicated moods. The kirtan continued in our new compartment all through the journey. Many were the souls moved and left behind. There was to be another change at Rajpura, but in our new compartment we reached Ambala late at night. What was the source of guidance is source of mystery. At 11 p.m. we knocked at the door of Bhai Pyara Singh, who is now Colonel Pyara Singh, Jaipur Wale. The happenings at Ambala Cant. Bhai Pyara Singh was ready with food for us, as if he had been expecting us. He called Babu Mal Singh Ji from his quarter number 18 to join us. Babuji wanted to know why we walked down from the Cant rail station, whereas on just a word, transport could be arranged, and they would have been there to receive us. Bhai Pyara Singh, who had some inclining, clarified that they were not aware of their journey. Interrupting him, our companion Bhai Sarwan Singh, the redeemed living, said, pointing towards Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh, that we had brought the divine gift and we had been guided by the divine power all along. This triggered Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh's limitless yearning of divine love, and the kirtan started. However, on Bhai Pyara Singh's insistence that we had already been without food for many days and nights, we agreed to have dinner. Soon we were all in meditation. The army personnel had to go for duty in the morning, and we went to a nearby well and relaxed on the sandy bed. The sun came up and none. The shoes of my skin wear the size of my guru. Bhai Gurdas Ji, Var No, Pauri 18. These words were like a rasp to our souls. His feeling of intense love melted our hearts as he sang with his upturned face. He sang the hymn with great feelings, and thus we gave up our plans to return. We became slaves to Babuji. The congregation assembled for Akhand Pathi Sahagam, and we returned as the humble dust of their feet. The Samagam commenced with the usual tradition. All the army personnel of cavalry, platoons, and artillery poured in. This was a unique, soulful Asadi Var kirtan at 4 a.m. The sound of kirtan reached far off. There were no loudspeakers those days, and in any case, this was not required. The kirtan used to be natural, automatic, and spontaneous, mainly for the enjoyment of the kirtaniya himself or herself, and not to please others or win recognition. There was no consideration to have a great assembly. The lovers of kirtan were drawn like moths to a lamp on their own, through the divine communication. In this case, the word had already spread about the Samagam. The devoted Sikhs, accustomed to get up in the ambrosial hours at 2 a.m., came down after reciting their Nitnem Bani and got tuned to the divine word. As they poured in, the kirtan became more and more forceful. The passage of time was not noticed, and it all appeared as extension of the ambassador's hours. Soon after the prayer at the end of kirtan, Sri Akhand Pathi started. The details of this path are described in Bhai Harbachan Singh's life events. Here it would suffice to say that soon after the path, another Akhand path was started. At the end of second path, Amrit Sanchar, baptism ceremony, started. While all others left after distribution of Kara Prasad, those associated with baptizing, the chosen five, and the hopefuls remained. The Akhand Pathis, who had been reciting the path in the chosen five, including Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh. The miraculous events during the ceremony are part of the story of Bhai Harbhajan Singh Ji. Patiala Samagam. At the end of Samagam, all others took to their worldly duties, and those devoted to divine love continued in their own pursuit. The foursome of Bhai Sarwan Singh, Bhai Wariam Singh, Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh, and Bhai Lal Singh felt an urge to visit Hazur Sahib. It was a divine occurrence that at the same time Bhai Pyari Singh and Babu Mal Singh, comprehending this untold decision, came forward with the request to accompany the rest. I received the telepathic message to proceed to Patiala with the entire Jatha for starting Sri Akhand Path there. Bhai Atma Singh from Macho, who always remained nam-intoxicated and was known as Avadut, ascetic Atma Singh, had come from Patiala with this mission and was present throughout the Ambala Samagam. Though all had felt the pull for Patiala, yet the resolute Bhai Sarwan Singh remained steadfast in his resolve to visit Hazur Sahib. Bhai Wariam Singh also sided with him along with Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh and Bhai Lal Singh. I had felt strong urge for Patiala. While I started for Patiala and happily agreed for the visit to Hazur Sahib by the other four to satisfy their urge, however, I had felt that they would reach Patiala before the end of Akhand Path there. Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh, though inclined to accompany me, went away with the rest. I reached Patala to join in the Akhand Path. Shri Bhai Joginder Singh Ji and Bibi Harbant's car were delighted. The Patala Sangat that had caused the divine pull assembled. The life-giving, blissful kirtan started. The foursome that had proceeded to Hazur Sahib returned soon after reaching there. They just did not feel like prolonging their stay. God alone knows how this transpired. I saw them to my surprise just before the kirtan after a Kanpath Bhog. Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh met me most affectionately. He had not eaten after departing from Ambala. Such were the pangs of our love. His radiant glory was further enhanced. That had infatuated all the beholders. As soon as Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh joined in kirtan, Sange Sajan was an environment of spiritual aroma and powerful emotional singing that engrossed all the listeners. At the end of kirtan, a message from Ludhiana was received. All were wondering at Malwa Khalsa High School, Ludhiana, about the sudden disappearance of Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh and Bhai Lal Singh. Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh's father, who was a great Sikh and employed in a frontier Sikh army unit at Banau as a prominent Garthi, had come to Ludhiana to ask the school management for immediate meeting with his son. It is not known how he came to know about his disappearance. A rumor had gained currency that after Fail Wal Samagam, the disappearance was a divine act to some unknown place. No body had yet known our whereabouts. However, some Singhans of Gurdwaras had heard the hunch that truth would be known at Patiala. Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh had no more inclination to return to his school, yet he was ready to abide by the congregational decision. After some deliberation, it was decided to seek guidance from Sri Guru Granth Sahib. Accordingly, the divine scriptural guidance was sought. It read, "Prahlad got imbued in divine name and infatuated other students." This led to the decision that this young student has a duty to spiritualize many others at school through his own example. This decision immensely pleased the messengers from Ludhiana, and they took this news to Ludhiana of the expected return soon. Events at Ludhiana. The next day, not only the students and the staff of the Khalsa High School, but also those of the adjoining schools had assembled in the school Gurdwara. The members of Management Committee of the Malwa Khalsa High School were filled with eager anticipation of our arrival from Patiala. We, along with Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh, landed at Ludhiana railway station. We were informed of the gathering at the school Gurdwara, waiting for us. We all started marching toward school in great devotional mood. To our surprise, we found halfway that Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh was missing. We were flabbergasted as to what would we present to the assembly. Meanwhile, at Boot, a Sesek, Bhai Atma Singh Ji consoled us not to worry, that Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh would land back soon from nowhere. We knew that he enjoyed some special spiritual powers, so we requested him to envision where Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh was. He envisioned him to be meditating by the riverside near a bush and offered to go and fetch him. He soon disappeared, and we stood there praying. As we opened our eyes, we found both Bhai Atma Singh and Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh coming. We met embracing each other, as though we were meeting after long. Happily then, we again resumed our journey. We found the assembled Sangat in Gurdwara enjoying Gurbani Kirtan. As we reached, we were also singing Kirtan, led by Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh. He was pouring out his heart in the divine melody. With his dress of black turban, kachera, wrapping a cloth around him, and wearing the Khalsa weapons like chakar, kirpan, etc., he looked simple and yet held a royal personality as a ruler of the entire world. The radiance of his youthful face was amazing, with a touch of divine intoxication. He prostrated before Sri Guru Granth Sahib, and when he got up, he sang a hymn loudly in a piercing pitch. The entire assembly was thrilled. Our singing first, along with Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh, was followed by repetition singing by the entire congregation. At the end of this hymn singing, many students stood up to request for baptism. The second master of the school, Bhai Harbajipat Singh Ji, announced that the following day there would be a Akhand Path with his house, and the baptizing ceremony would follow for all the aspirants. The scheduled Akhand Path Samagam started, but the aspirants for receiving baptism desired that their beloved Babu Mai Singh, Pai Piara Singh, and Shri Pai Harbhajan Singh Duleshar be present. As the Asa Divar Kirtan started, the call of divine love brought all these three persons from Ambala Cant. Somehow Sant Hira Singh Ji Duduperwale also came along, as did Sri Bhai Joginder Singh from Patiala. Such are the amazing coincidences in work of the divine. The titillating kirtan ended and Sri Akhand Path recitation started. The tradition was followed and there was continuous listening by full gathering of the entire path. The emotions were particularly high when it was the turn of Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh to recite, and all were just swaying. All the aspirants for baptism were particularly present throughout. Once again, there was Akhand Kirtan after the path. When Kirtan ended and the Quran Prasad was distributed, only the Pathis, reciters of path, as the chosen five and the aspirants for Amrit remained there. Rung Ija Saipan. The most beloved Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh sat in attendance of Sri Guru Granth Sahib. All was ready for baptizing ceremony. About 150 applicants waited in the adjoining room and were called in one by one to establish their suitability. Finally, only 38 were selected, while it was felt that the rest need to be emmonered furthermore with divine love to qualify for being baptized. Out of this selected group, few names that I remember are mentioned below. 1. Sri Bhai Iqbal Singh of village Boparai, Ludhiana. Sri Bhai Pradhan Singh of village Jandi, Ludhiana. Sri Bhai Kara Singh. Sri Bhai Sundar Singh Guman, Ludhiana. Sri Bhai Satna Singh, a budding Veer Musaporia, district Jalalpur. Sri Bhai Nirbhai Singh Ji of village Latan, and others. In turn, they lit many more souls with Nam enlightenment. The chain reaction of this dedicated love resulted in many more such groups of the baptized Khalsa. All were keen Kirtaniyas and followed the code of inner and outer discipline strictly in their daily living. They observed the recitational ambrosial hours by rising at 2 a.m., full bath, and meditation of Nam. Then Bani, Asadata Kirtan was also a daily routine. Rest of the time was devoted to studies. Their continuous breath-by-breath Simran and strict discipline got the school authorities worried about the studies, yet all such students passed with high credits. In spite of their good showing in studies, some kind of criticism was always there. Wearing of the kirpan was normally not allowed in schools, but nobody dared to object in their case. All the members of the management felt that Bhai Khalsa Ji had converted the school from an institution of studies to the institution for spirituality, affecting all the students. Bhai Puran Singh Ji Janatpur started a separate kitchen for Sarblo Bibak, for those eating food in irons utensils, prepared by baptized Sikhs. He was so much devoted to this service that he hardly had time to attend school. He had a very strong faith. He was rarely seen sleeping and mostly remained in meditation. He always sat across Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh to listen attentively to the kirtan. He was an accomplished Akhand Pathi who would go on reciting path for hours in loud and clear voice at a fast speed, and yet each word could be understood by the listeners. During recitation, his face would glow. Thus, there were 2 Akhand Pathis, and they hardly needed a third one for complete recitation of Akhand Pathi. There were series of Akhand Pathas. Many such Akhand Pathis had appeared. In the school, boarding house, these divinity-initiated ones remained ever imbued in Nam. There was a youth organization, Bhujangai Sabha, those days. All the Sikh students were its members. They used to celebrate the 2 Gurpurabs of Sri Guru Nanak Sahib and Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji every year with great fanfare. There was no other Sikh organization in Ludhiana which could manage such celebrations. This was achieved with dedication of these young baptized Sikhs with Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh as their role model and leader. Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh completed his matriculation from the school and took up service at Patiala. There he enjoyed the company of Bhai Joginder Singh Ji, Bhai Atma Singh Ji, and Bhai Jaswant Singh Ji. In 1914-15, the entire Jatha got entangled in the mutiny cases. I was sent for life years imprisonment to far-off places. During this period, in pursuit of the household duties and in accordance with divine will, Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh went to Arabian countries to earn his living. By the time he returned after my jail term, Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh also returned from overseas. With his stay abroad and undesirable company, there was a slide down in his spiritual state from the apex where he had reached. However, he still had the old influence of holy congregations in him, and he once again regained his original state after presenting himself before the chosen five and the corrective measures. His wife, Bhai Kartar Kaur, also went through this ordeal. She was a straightforward spiritual being. She let out loud cries in the presence of the chosen five and had to be pacified by Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh. After this, there were many samagams held at Kamal Pur. As in Gurbani, the divinity devoted are the redeemers of their entire family. Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh got his whole family baptized. All the villagers held him in great esteem, and with his initiative, the village got a high school. He served as the divinity teacher. He was seen at all the jatha. Range Sajan. Samagams, whether in Delhi, Ahmedabad, Kashmir, etc., he was verily a pillar of faith. He was still young when his earthly sojourn neared its end. He used to indicate to me that not many days were left for him, though he was seemingly whole and hearty. But when the final death call comes, nothing is of any avail. I was enjoying my meditational mood at my house in Narengwal when his son, Kaka Harcharan Singh, came with a worried look. He informed that Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh was very restless and that there was request for me to pray for his relief. The boy left immediately after this message. I prayed to the Satguru for his peace, and that was about the time that he breathed his last with these blessings for eternal peace. The next message of his death reached Narengwal in quick succession. Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh had desired that this last rites be performed only in my presence. I rushed to Kamalpura. The entire family was reciting Nam, sitting around the bier. Many people had gathered from far and near. The entire school students and staff were ready with school band. The environment was very peaceful. The sense of grief prevailing then defies description. Thus departed my dear Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh, leaving behind the mourning multitudes. Among the prominent late divine imbued with Singhs of the Jatha, Bhai Gurbakhsh Singh stands out as the foremost personality. I always treasure his memory deep in my heart.